kind of like Nick when we were watching fucking Chainsaw Massacre. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know how you got Diageo or whatever for the lead actress on this. Y'all just got lucky on that.
Well, it's all that money they saved by hiring Scott Eastwood.
Does Clint Eastwood write you a check or what?
No, I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood pays productions to have his son on set.
Nick and I were watching a movie that he was in, and we guessed wrong
Yeah.
on who it was. Like the guy we thought it was died early on, and Nick and I both went, "Man, I don't want to look it up on my phone, but was that not Scott Eastwood?"
Nope.
Oh my god.
It was the next generic
And then
white
the
guy
next
introduced.
generic white dude that showed up, we were like, God damn it, that is Scott Eastwood.
No, seriously, him, Taylor Kitsch, Jai Courtney could all rob a bank together or whatever, and like they could no, there were three of us. We were all in different places at one time. Like
you'd have 4 cops show up that look exactly like Sam Worthington shows up as one of the cops.
Yeah,
they all start to get confused.
If you were in a movie and one of them was the evil one, you'd have to just shoot all of them.
It's like a house of mirrors. This is what gave Jordan Peele the idea for Us. Episode 376 of the TV Dudes. Don't know squat. This week on the TV Dudes, almost nobody knows anything. Nobody knows what's up with Toni Collette's past and Netflix pieces of her. Sam Jackson doesn't know if he can keep his memory long enough to solve a murder in Apple TV's Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. And the lovable crew of idiots in Peacock's Bust Down just don't know much, period. Plus, we don't know where Randy is. But one thing we do know is that I'm Les.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Nick. I'm almost sure of it.
We're pretty sure of it. Though, I don't know, my memory's going. Maybe the meds
I also
Let
don't
me
know
check.
the definition of the word squat. Other than a verb of a thing, I'm like, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Oh, that's right, Northerner. Well, seriously, we don't know where Randy is. I think he's out of state somewhere at some kind of convention, but, you know, really, who knows? Either way, inmates are running the asylum this week, and we're going to talk about whatever we want. But before we get to all that, I do want to remember to talk about the Patreon. Folks can go and patreon.com/tvdudes. Give us $1 an episode. You can make us watch anime. You can make, for $20 an episode, you can make Randy watch any anime you want, or you can pick the weirdest thing off YouTube. You know what? For $20 an episode, you can email me and I will send you a list of things that I specifically know will annoy the shit out of Randy. I know he's listening right now.
There's kind of a secret, like longtime listeners probably know it's just an act. Like Randy doesn't really hate anime.
Randy's the biggest anime nerd I've ever met, honestly.
That's how he gets more anime
It's
submissions.
a really long con, guys. You're paying for him paying for him to watch the stuff he loves.
Yeah.
He knows that if he just keeps talking shit that, you know, you guys will, send him more stuff and feed his addiction.
He never wants to watch Terriers again. That's why he mentions it all the time.
No, it's a long con.
I want to kickstart a Terriers anime.
Oh God, just to see if you'd watch it.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose.
Oh, yes. Yes, folks, come on. We're going to make a...
That would cause Randy to have an existential crisis. That'd be like,
we should make a secret... Can we make a secret tier on the Patreon? Like, can we Kickstarter a Terriers
well, again,
anime?
He liked that anime Star Wars, so maybe that might work for him.
We could at least just, like, show Randy a bunch of concept art for a theoretical Terriers anime and like...
Oh, no. Now I'm like, let's go Star Wars Vision. It's like Terriers Visions. It's like 10 interpretations of Terriers.
Terriers, the left turn.
Actually, that might actually be a good idea. I think we might be making a good show on accident.
I mean, that does sound on brand for us.
Fund us.
Well, let's jump into TV Diaries for the week.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Kyle, yours looks pretty short and sweet.
Pretty sparse, yeah. No, I got around to all the homework that we had for tonight. Funny enough, the thing I watched first and like really dug was that what is it? A Kid in King Arthur's Court That movie we watched for Patreon this week.
Yeah, The Kid Who
that
Would
is
Be
definitely
King.
not what it is, since I've watched that other.
The Kid Who Would Be King. And I
Yep.
actually had to watch it kind of twice because I started it, fell asleep. It was also 9 p.m. So I have a baby. That's like, 3 a.m. normal people time. And then woke up early the next morning, watched the whole thing. Then my wife woke up and she was talking shit about it the night before. So I was like, she doesn't want to finish it. And I was like, hey, you want to know how it ended? And she goes, no, I want to finish it. What are you talking about? So then I had to watch the whole thing again. And I'm like, but you said you hated it. You said, who would make this for kids? This is too scary.
And that's just a preview of all of the genius opinions that we will be weighing into this with Randy nowhere even in the state to defend this movie.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
No, and I haven't even shared my opinion. All you guys know is that I got up early to watch it. So that might tell you something. But yeah, besides that, I actually did some more movies. We watched The Kingsman, both of those back to back. Funny enough, when I watched
Wait, The King's Men or The King's Man? God, I hate this fucking title.
Yeah, right. No, I watched The King's Man a couple weeks ago, and while I was watching it, I ordered the other two on Amazon.
Oh, so you watched the good one? Cool.
Yeah. So we watched the good one, and then we also watched the sequel.
Yes, that is the correct.
Which has some moments in it.
The sequel isn't terrible. It's like overbloated as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you shouldn't give me a villain that I agree with to a huge degree.
Yeah, Julianne Moore is like
she takes it way
totally
too
right.
far, but I'm with her for a portion of the movie that I shouldn't be.
No lie, if you would have told me that the sequel was the Kingsmen have a time machine and now they got to go back in time, but it's the same cast, like I'd have bought it. I feel like I'm on board. 5 minutes of that, and then we're on to some more of the good stuff. But yeah, a lot of like the whole like bringing the statesman. I don't think that concept was strong enough to like be its own.
It would have been if they actually stuck with fucking what's his name? Channing Tatum.
But yeah, no, I still liked it, and I just wanted more Channing Tatum. That's the only reason I'm upset. But no, TV wise, actually found myself going back and watching a lot of Shark Tank this week. Just kind of got on a kick. I don't know, something about seeing people's dreams made, but then also seeing people's dreams destroyed, and then like when somebody is kind of half-assing it, and then you see him talk down in public, and it's sick, but I get a little something out of that. Then my sister was in town. She actually helped us with a baby for a week. And she was raving about the new Aziz Ansari special. And funny enough, she hadn't seen anything Aziz Ansari before and randomly came about his new special and was like she didn't know about the Jezebel thing. Like she didn't know nothing about him. So I spent the whole night showing her like Human Giant clips. Like, oh, she knew about Parks and Rec.
Okay, I was like, surely like even people who don't know Patton Oswalt have like seen everybody or whatever. Said Everybody Loves Raymond he was on, or King of Queens?
King of Queens.
King of Queens. Yeah. But no, I feel like Essential Aziz Ansari is like, Best of Human Giant, his cameo on Flight of the Conchords, obviously Parks and Rec, but that's kind of mainstream. And then what was the other thing he did that was freaking awesome? Another cameo he had that's just all time for me. I'll think of it later. But his new special was really good. I have kind of picked up on something like if I was an SNL impressionist, like Aziz Ansari does this thing where he goes from talking like this to whispering and just really talking low like this, as like he's gonna get people's attention or something, and he just wants to really.
It's the Jack Donaghy close talking negotiation trick.
But that's just comedy, But we just came here to laugh. If you can hear what I'm saying. No, the whispering thing was a little much, but he had to get serious. He had to do some serious moments.
Yeah, for me, Essential Aziz Ansari is nothing. I do not like that guy. And this has nothing to do with anything personal with him. I've never, he's the worst part about the Parks and Recs that I've watched. Like, for his comedy really rubs me the wrong way for some reason. He comes off like a real douche.
He is good at the douche character.
Well, no, I mean, no, he's not a funny douche to me, though, is what I'm saying, is that, you remind me of people I fucking hate hanging out with.
I'm going to send you this Shutterbugs thing. They did a Human Giant skit where essentially it's the camera, reverse camera, and then on one end it's a kid, so then the raunchy comedians can say anything on the reverse camera and it looks like they're saying it to a kid. The concept is that they are talent agents for like a children's talent agency. So like they're like, you want to see somebody with like who could play a serial killer, with like the real Kevin Spacey in their eyes, like an instrument of death. And then it's just like the cutest kid you've ever seen.
Okay, man, I missed the. I think that it would be way funnier if the kids were actually in the room and you get to see the reactions. That's just me.
Well, they film the reactions, but
they're not in the same room, so they're fake, right?
I feel like every few weeks it occurs to me that you've not seen Kid Nation, Nick, and I don't know how.
Probably because there's nowhere nowhere to find it.
I've got to send you a copy of Kid Nation.
Sure, because of course you have it.
You would love it.
Actually, George Clooney just got a kid who already cusses. Do you hear about this? The what is it? The Friend Tender, or the new Ben Affleck movie that's directed by George Clooney?
Yeah,
Tender Bar. The kid in that was actually in some like viral, YouTube video. Jimmy Kimmel had him on the show, and George Clooney saw it and was like, "I want that kid for my movie." Yeah, essentially, so he could have like a kid who actually curses. And it's really funny when he curses.
Oh, he just didn't want. I like that he didn't want to teach a kid to curse. Like,
there's a kid out there somewhere.
I'll find a kid. There's got to be a kid that can curse the way I want him. Oh, that guy. Now you got the goods.
You're gonna be in this movie, kid. Fuck you, Clooney. You're in it.
Like he's some sort of talent scout for like I'm the swear talent scout, and let me tell you, kid, you've got something there.
You drop a mean F-bomb.
There's all these like polished up kids in their Sunday best standing there with their like eager parents behind them, and the talent agents looking over them all. There's like one kid behind the building with a half a cigarette hanging out of his mouth like a Van Halen album
sound
cover.
Like they have Asperger's. They're just doing vocal exercises.
Like, shit, you kid. He takes off running like, grab that kid.
How'd you like to swear professionally, kid?
Fuck you. You're in business. Kid, you're going to be famous.
Oh.
All right, Nick, what'd you watch?
We need to quit making better shows.
I caught up on last week tonight. I watched the next episode from. I think I'm an ep or two behind. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're one behind, I believe, right now.
Yeah, they're finally starting to ask questions. That's pretty good. I like that the family is starting to just write on the walls to like do that crazy Charlie Day like trying to figure things out, but also like they don't like being they are resentful of being stuck here. So like, fuck this house. This is not our house. So who cares if we draw on the walls or some bullshit?
Yeah, I don't really live here. Like I like it as like a protest of like, I may have to unpack, but we're not treating this like a home. Yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of that show.
What happens to people when they put them in prison? Like at the beginning of the sentence, it's like you're in denial. So yeah, you don't treat you don't take care of your place. But like the longer you're there, the more it's like, oh no,
this is my space.
Also, it could be helpful since it seems like every once in a while the town just gets wiped out of people.
Yeah, it would be nice if somebody had a list of shit up on the wall that we know like the next time a car arrives. Yeah.
Or like an old wise man,
right?
Who's just
can't count on anybody surviving. So like, someone write this down.
Yeah,
I watched Christine, of all things. I have no idea why. I just saw it on Netflix and it was like an impulse click.
Felt possessed to watch it.
I really have to ask Stephen King what his bullying experience was like, or if he ever was bullied, or if he was bullied in a completely different way. Because I'm like, okay, I know bullying is always more intense the farther back in time you go, but your bullies always seem just the slightest thread away from murder.
I want to say in his book on writing, his older brother got him to do the like, hey, why don't you go put this fork in that light socket? It's awesome.
Why does every Stephen King story have some kid with a switchblade that is ready to kill other children?
Or at least carve their initials in them.
I wonder if it's because when you're a kid, it feels like that, even though an adult can look at the situation and be like, come on, the kid just hit his growth spurt before you. Like, you're fine. But like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, we had a knife and a machine gun and grenades.
Why are you letting this Sasquatch come after me?
So Stephen King writes about it in a way that would frighten an adult the same way a kid gets frightened.
I mean, seriously, you could say because for some reason they think the kid did it, even though they have like it's like the cops know that the car is possessed somehow. But you could claim self-defense in that part of like, he said he was going to kill me, he has a knife all the time. He could have easily said I was feared for my life and I just ran him over with my car.
Man, I know that we're just eating time doing this, but I'm going to pitch another idea. A sentient Uber, okay? We're talking self-driving car era.
That's a subplot in Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Sentient Ubers?
There's self-driving cars, and they it's like you call an AI self-driving car, but you have to be nice to them, and Rob Corddry's a dick, and they keep telling him, like, man, you don't want to be a fucking asshole to that car, and it asks permission to run him down, and it takes the whole movie, like, this car's got a thing in the back, like in the window, like in the like a picture-in-picture that's like waiting for a response, and then all of a sudden it like ding, permission granted, and it fucking swerves to go kill Rob Corddry.
I mean, that was exactly what I was going to say, even the Rob Corddry part,
It's
really.
just crammed into Hot Tub Time Machine 2 for no fucking reason.
If the car framed the next rider for murder, you know? Like the car kills somebody and then goes, you want a free ride? Person jumps in and it's like, manual control. It's like, what?
I feel like this idea is so
He did it.
stupid, someone's definitely made it already.
Oh, no, I think
Surely.
it's the Hot Tub Time Machine. I think that's pretty much, besides the blackmail part, or the framing part.
Uber's framing me is just terrifying now. I'm just never gonna.
Uber framing?
Well, like Skynet running
The
your
driver
cabs.
jumps out the car.
Like I don't know. I tried to get an Uber home from the bar, and it took me to like this mass grave, and I don't have anything to do with this, officer. I think the car called you.
I started watching the new season of Legends of Tomorrow because as soon as those seasons end, they just end up on Netflix the next day. It seems like.
So where are you at with it? Had they replaced Constantine?
Constantine has not been replaced yet by what's his face.
By
I'm still
Constantine?
getting to that, but we are at where they fucking kill J. Hoover, I think, or what was it? Was it Hoover the in the train? Did they kill Hoover? Where
Yeah.
he tries to shoot him, Nate
Yeah,
steals
they
up,
kill-
and the
they
bullet
kill
ricochets,
Hoover.
shoots him right in the fucking face.
Have they killed anybody else? They kill several historical figures.
No, they fuck up the timeline even worse than usual. And yeah, it's like Ava uses her knowledge of murder podcasts to hide the body. Like, okay, I know exactly what to do.
I got this. Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
That's like been I feel like I've seen that plot point in other shows too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the whole premise of fucking murderers in the building.
Oh, yeah.
What's the
Of course.
if we defund the police, who's going to solve murders? The same people who solve all murders: suburban white women listening to podcasts.
And then me and Les watched Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yes, which was not nearly as good as the newest one.
Wait, is Matthew McConaughey 3 or 2?
No, that is Texas Chainsaw, the next generation, new generation.
Yeah, I think that's the
fifth one.
official 3. This is 3D, the one they made.
Oh.
I think this was the last one they did before the new
Yes,
one.
this one has
Michael Bay did those, right?
Deidre. Shit, what is her name?
It might have been his production company, Platinum Dunes, but I don't think he
Platinum
directed
Dunes
any
did
of
it.
them.
He didn't direct it,
Ah,
but Platinum Dunes did it.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
think.
Let's just give him credit for everything they do.
No, I'm sorry. It's Millennium Films, whoever the fuck that is.
You know when you watch a Michael Bay movie, it's not like Michael
yeah.
Bay can't sneak a movie past you.
Alexandria Daddario is
Yeah.
in this somehow. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
pretty terrible.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Michael Bay, and as you've pointed out before, Nick, I like to take one thing and think like 3 steps behind it. But the guys who did the other Bad Boys movie, the new one that came out, they're the ones who are doing the Miss Marvel TV show. Did you guys see that trailer that came out this week?
Yeah, I mean, not a
It looks
huge.
just like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
Jesus,
it's
your
got a
mind will
very-
jump
No lie.
fucking everywhere. Good lord.
It's got a real Scott Pilgrim-y vibe.
No, it looks
The main
pretty
thing
good.
I
I
caught
like-
was that her power's way different. Like she looks like a Captain Marvel Green Lantern.
Well, her power
Oh, yeah,
seems like an
everybody's pissed about
energy-based thing. I thought she was just a polymorph
yeah, she was.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's supposed to shapeshift and stretch
and grow big and like and stuff.
And I guess they didn't think that would translate well to screen, and so
But then
instead
she does it sometimes in the
well,
clips
she
I
makes
saw. But,
she makes like a Green Lantern fist
but
out
she's
of
got
Captain
the
Marvel energy.
around it, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing they
Mhm.
don't they they're trying to hide the special effects. Maybe.
Well, and I want to say
Oh.
in the comics she's an Inhuman, and they are
Yeah.
trying to
Mhm.
not fucking
Oh, they don't
run
want to
with
do
that anymore.
Inhumans.
So
Yeah.
Well, but here's the other thing. That effect could look goofy as hell on screen.
it really
Like
could.
they might have tried it and said, "No, we can't. We can't have this Allison Mack looking stuff."
Well, I mean, they've already done. We've had three Fantastic Four
Four
movies
movie,
where
yeah.
that have tried to do
Well,
it.
actually, perfect example. Yeah.
I want to say the writer, one of the main writers of the character, was like, "No, this is very comic booky. I don't know that this would translate well. Do it, fit her into the MCU."
I suppose a glow around the hand while she's doing it can really help hide seams and special effects stuff. Of like, okay, it doesn't have to look
Yeah,
like it's a
that's true.
real hand or whatever that's growing or whatever.
I'm still stoked to see it. It'll be the thing on during Obi-Wan that I'll be interested in watching. I think they're on at the same time where they cross each other.
I like the idea of the new generation of Marvel heroes are fanboys of the previous generation of Marvel heroes.
Yeah.
With Kate
Yeah.
Bishop and Kamala Khan, and hopefully they do
Mhm.
Amadeus Cho as in the Hulk show or the She-Hulk show.
So I'm wondering if Amadeus, is the problem with giving a Hulk their own movie an Incredible Hulk problem or a Bruce Banner
Now,
Hulk problem?
That's what I was thinking, if because they have a Hulk movie on the
Because
slate.
I want an Amadeus Cho
And I
Hulk.
was like, oh, wait, did they get the rights
Yeah.
back? Or is it that they can't make a solo Bruce Banner Hulk movie, but they could make a one that where Hulk is either Jennifer Walters Hulk or Amadeus Cho Hulk? Because that could
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, I would love
Yeah.
Cho Hulk. That'd be great.
Well, also, I've heard people talk about that whole Universal deal, and when I heard they were doing it, my first thought was, I bet it's like a F around and find out. Like they're just gonna do it and see what Universal does. Like, because I want to say the agreement is that they share it, and that's why they have it. But yeah, it seemed like they were just gonna like try to push it and
See what happens.
consequences later. But they're a huge corporation; they'd never do that. That's like
That's great
something
stuff.
Donald Trump would do.
What else, Nick?
That was about it for me.
All right.
If anyone complains about the new one of like, are you supposed to root for Leatherface? You better have savaged this last one.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to do a massacre pancake of any of these, but honestly, there's times where I just want to like get on a soapbox with a bullhorn and like live tweet scream about how fucking awful these movies are sometimes. So I watched obviously Texas Chainsaw 3D. I also watched the first episode of We Need to Talk About Cosby, which is disturbing and difficult and fucked up. He was doing all of it from the jump in the 60s, and it just nobody wants to look at it. It's crazy. It's so much
Yikes.
weirder than it's just fucked up, but also he's interesting. I'm looking forward to the next 3 episodes. I don't know what else we're going to discuss than the kind of one note of like, yeah, I know, right? But so far it's really good. Kamau Bell is killing it. I'm looking forward to the rest. Watched From, a couple more of the classic album series that are on Amazon. They're fun. Watched Kid Who Would Be King. Billions, I'm into the 6th season now, and still enjoying that show. I watched Brooklyn, Parks, 30 Rock, most of the homework. And I also watched Don't Look Up, which I think I would describe as a Veep idiocracy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I said I think I described it as Idiocracy meets Dr. Strangelove, but yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. It's not funny. Like I laughed several times, but also it is just nihilistically brutal. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I found it very unfunny as far as how
my God.
Oh, this is just true.
I did enjoy so the 2 hardest times that I laughed, or well, laughing at this is gallows humor at the most gallowy. But there's a moment where Meryl Streep's president calls Matt Damon to say, hey, we have a ship. We're all getting off planet. And he's like, of course you fucking have a ship. And she's like, I've got a spot
Leonardo
for you.
DiCaprio?
I'm sorry, DiCaprio.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, we can get you and one other person. I've got a seat for you. And he's like, no. I'm going to stay. Have fun with Jason. And you see a moment on Meryl Streep's face where she goes, who? Oh, shit. And it cuts to Jonah Hill as her son, Jason, who's holding her purse in the Situation Room going, she's coming back. She's going to come back. I cracked up like the gender flip Trump and kid where he keeps going like, if she weren't my mom, right? Like it's so fucked up. And then the weird Bezos Jobs type like weirdo or Elon Musk type weirdo that's running Bash when he has that algorithm that tells everybody how they'll die, and Meryl Streep's like, I don't want to know. Yeah, I do. Tell me. It's like, you died by a Bronorock. We don't know what that means.
Yeah, we don't know what those are yet.
Oh,
but,
the stinger of that is, it's
out.
like, and I love his bemusement of like, we don't even know what that sentence means. Haha. And then, yeah, you know you're going to get a stinger.
You realize that the hopeful ending of that is realizing that the bad people also get punished at the end of it, and that the whole human race is wiped, and rather than most of
yeah, no, they landed as food for assholes on another planet.
The bright side of the movie is that we're all dead, and none of us made it.
Yeah. Yeah, it Cabin in the Woods is out, for sure.
If you need any other reason to be scared of the like maniacal billionaire type, like if Tiger King has shown us anything, it's that even like poor meth head dudes can like hire a contract killer. Then you take it to like devs, you get Nick Offerman in there hiring contract killer. Don't mess with these tech guys. Like that can be scary. The dark
Except
side.
that they're also kind of dumb. Like his plan straight up doesn't work, and
oh god, and he has such a chip on his shoulder about like when DiCaprio tries to ask him about like, well, I mean, have you peer reviewed any of this? I mean, you don't have an engineering degree. Like,
yeah.
Well, I have, and he just loses it at him. Like, you die alone. Yeah. Yeah. Dark fucking movie. I'm not sold on Adam McKay. His directing style is, this was better. This doesn't do the fake documentary news push, like lens push that The Big Short does so much. Like this didn't do that as much, but it still had some just odd cuts. And a lot of times where like he ran the audio over other, like people would be talking and then it would cut to them at the table not talking, just hanging out with the very, I don't know, it was a little,
oh yeah, that was a bit jarring.
It was a little art filmy. I mean, it's all right, but
I thought the special effects were merged really well into this.
I did like the tracking of the comet and stuff. Every once in a while you get this like crazy shot of just astro space shit.
Or even like all of the technology stuff that they were showing off. I think it's something like Mars Attacks, where in order to have like special effects, you kind of had to like go all in on that style. And it's like, you don't even have to do that anymore.
Everybody's
like, I feel like you can have the
teeth.
lightest sci-fi element in your script and they can blow it out and make it look just like a Marvel movie.
Kate Blanchett and whoever's the weird scientist dude are both wearing fake teeth, and they're so fucking goofy and weird.
Actually, that is funny you say that, because who's the actress from Mystique? Why can't I think?
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Apparently she chipped her tooth at the beginning of shooting it and like couldn't get it replaced right away. So she just had like a little, or she didn't chip a tooth. She had a veneer and the veneer came off. So she had like a little tooth nub in there. And what they did is they just CG'd her tooth in for most of the movie. Yeah,
well, apparently
fake tooth.
Because of COVID restrictions, Kate Blanchett didn't have her own makeup person. And so she brought her own wig and fake teeth and just did that herself.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so that's my TV Diaries. Once again, I tell everybody to go check us out on Patreon. And again, you want to absolutely, Randy is the biggest anime fan on the planet. He's just really, really shy about it. And you want to try to stump him with the most
You already have 3
stuff.
coming up from Max, right?
Yes. We're going to fill the slate. So, what do we want to talk about first? We've got
like, how do you tear down these shows in what order?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched Ptolemy Gray, but the treatment wore off, and
I'm just wondering which show Kyle hasn't watched, because we can't get through an episode without Kyle having not watched one.
No,
of
it's
these.
me this time.
I know.
I skipped Ptolemy Gray. So I think we should talk about that one first. Apple TV falsely led me to believe, through the lack of my reading comprehension, that Ptolemy Gray premiered this Friday, and I did not watch the episodes. So, what was it about? It looks super action-y. I assume he says motherfucker a lot and beats somebody up, right?
I can't believe you put Samuel L. Jackson in the opening spot. Samuel L. Jackson is a headliner. We're going to talk about Sam Jackson first?
But he's
I mean,
91-year-old
I guess
Sam
so.
Jackson in a movie where
Flowers
he's
for
trying to
Alger
remember.
Jackson is
Yes.
what the thing
Yeah.
is. It's exactly that. They put a little murder mystery in there. The show is very slow. They don't even get to I don't think they even get to him like becoming smart until Ep 2. Kyle, where you just finished one episode, where are you at
Yeah,
right
I just
now?
did the first. End of episode 1, but I've seen the trailer, so I know what happens in episode 2. But I was surprised they didn't even get to everything in the trailer. I mean, they
No.
did give me some stuff I wasn't prepared for. But yeah, no, I definitely know there's more coming.
It's one of those things of how TV shows seem to be paced nowadays. Of you don't even have to have your inciting incident until episode 2, I guess.
That's insane.
But this one at least has its inciting, like, okay, there's a thing that happens with his regular caretaker by the first half of this episode, and that's what leads him to meet this new person. And
Yep.
he goes to see a doctor that's Walton Goggins, which I think might be the first time Walton Goggins and Sam Jackson have shared a screen without him saying the N-word at him yet.
That is true.
Because every time I'm like, oh, right, I've seen you guys work together in a lot of Tarantino stuff. And Walton Goggins is always a horrible racist to you. This is so weird.
Oh.
Yeah, he's struggling with Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. I'm pretty sure it's Alzheimer's.
Memory disorder, yeah.
And so he's having a hard time remembering things, and then suddenly he'll go into flashbacks of remembering things from his childhood, and he's hoarding, and it sounds like this is a recent development. Like this was like maybe a year or something. Like it was a very fast decline, according to the first doctor we see.
Also, how old is this guy that he would have been picking cotton as a 12-year-old?
He's
In the
supposed to be
show, they say
93.
it's like 93 or 5 or whatever.
He's
93
93 in the show.
That's wild.
And they say that he's in surprisingly good, or he heals fast. There might be something about his physiology that makes him a better candidate for this experimental drug they're going to give him, which makes me think that the side effects they mention are going to be physical.
I was just thinking of how funny it would have been if he asked Walton Goggins, like, what's this drug called? And he just looked at him and said the N-word.
And we're out.
It's like, we knew you had to sneak it in there, Walton Goggins.
It's the Tarantino directed episode. No. The second episode's actually directed by Debbie Allen. The first one by Ramin Bahrani, who I think co-produced the show. This is all based on a Walter Mosley book. He wrote Devil in a Blue Dress that Denzel was in, which is a great movie adaptation, a bunch of novels. He's written an episode of Star Trek Discovery, an episode of Snowfall, Always Outnumbered, which was on TV back in the 90s.
Yeah. They also don't quite give him the drug in Ep 2.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
What they do is that because the consequences of the drug are going to be, Walton Goggins does not want to say what they are in front of his other caretaker, and he wants him to, like, okay, I have a shot that'll boost your cognizance, and it won't completely erase everything, but it's not what our original drug is, but it'll make you cognitive enough to make a fully functioning decision for a 24-hour period. So he becomes basically normal for 24 hours, like not super smart.
Yeah. That's a good way to stretch the taffy.
And so he gets it back to where he started to investigating his other previous caretaker's murder. That was the reason that he's been left alone for a couple weeks. And you see what he used to be like, of like, oh man, he used to be just, not the smartest person in the world, but a very regular person, and he can't quite tell the difference of just him kind of slowly coming out of it is kind of interesting. And yeah, by the end of episode 2, they start to give him the actual, you're going to remember like fucking everything you've ever, like, limitless drug we're going to give you.
Nice.
And I think that's a temporary thing too, but longer than 24 hours. And that's about it.
One of the things that's really great about this show, specifically the pilot episode, which it kind of seems like we're getting almost like a 3-episode pilot, at least a 2-episode pilot, because they set up the premise in the trailer, and it sounds like you're just getting to kind of what they set up in the trailer. But no, the world building they do on such a small scale, but like really making you think, oh shit, if you had a relative or a loved one who had, dementia or something like this is how they would live. Like, this is what you would have to do. Even the scenes where his first caretaker is just helping, is like, don't forget to lock the door, and he's like hanging out, making sure that the door's locked. You're just like, yeah, like all the little things that you have to kind of figure out for this person. And especially they juxtapose it like the first, and I kind of hate when shows do this, but they do one of those, you get to see him kind of after he's gotten the memory stuff and he's now clean shaven and he's cleaned his apartment and things. And then they do a whole 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's gotta pay or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. It's like a Memento style, like, what's he gonna, who's he gonna shoot?
Start somewhere
the end of
interesting
this.
and then jump back.
Yep.
I don't know. For me, like, it says the problem with the modern form of, I guess, maybe bingeable TV. They feel like they can take a while for their. I mean, sure, take a while to get your story really running, but your premise should happen by the first episode. Like, the premise of the show should be actually fucking established. And he doesn't actually get the full. He doesn't even get the partial drug until Ep 2, and he doesn't get the full drug until Ep 3, which I have not seen.
Yeah, it's not out yet, I don't think.
So, by this point, I still have not seen the actual premise of the show of him on this fucking memory super drug.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that Yellow Jackets, they crashed that fucking plane by the episode 1's credits, okay?
Well, that actually feels like a good spot to move on to the next show to talk about, which I feel like nailed their first episode.
Fuck yeah.
Pieces of Her over on Netflix. Toni Collette's a national treasure.
Yeah,
she's
for real.
like Margot Martindale. If you have the opportunity to put her in your project, you just say yes. We will discuss that happening to Patrick Stewart and Kid and the King on Patreon. But yeah, this show from the jump, I mean, the first 10 minutes of it get to the promise of the premise in the trailer there. And then by the end of that pilot, when the daughter's driving off, I was like, holy shit.
Well, I didn't know what this, like, I didn't really know what it was about, and I don't think the trailer really explains exactly. It kind of explains it, but not really.
You get a bit of a history of violence vibe from the trailer, but you don't really know what is the, what is up.
I think it really takes advantage of people's rhythm now of waiting a full episode before the story actually gets going. Because it's 10 minutes in, and we're still learning about her and her, like, the woman and her, like, her 911 dispatcher job, and like she answers phones, and she's out on before I go more into it, if you go in cold as possible if you want to see this, because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we should say it is very twisty, and yeah, you should pause right here and jump ahead.
But the premise is the fun of it.
But the premise is super the fun part of it, and we really couldn't talk about anything past the first 10 minutes. Suddenly it just fucking starts. And she's having dinner with, or lunch with her mom.
Yeah,
birthday lunch.
Fucking some dude comes in to shoot a girl they were talking to because of some totally unrelated thing.
Absolutely unrelated thing. Yeah,
turns into Uwe Boll film for a minute.
And he was planning on suiciding by cop because she had her uniform on. Because you wear a uniform even if you are a 911 dispatcher, you still wear a uniform.
Not armed.
I guess.
Yeah. I loved all of that. Was fantastic.
The mom fucking flies across the goddamn diner to just jump on her daughter. I think he shoots like 5 times, and I remember counting of like, okay, so that's they usually use that 357 Magnum for shows and stuff because they look cool.
Count. Yeah.
And those are 6 rounds, so he uses 5. And Toni Collette gets up into his face. I'm like, okay, he has 1 more in there, dude. So if you're counting on that to be empty, that is not going to happen. And she knocks him out to make him waste his last bullet. He pulls a knife and just stabs her in the fucking hand.
She catches it like
like a high five, yeah. And they look at each other for like, I want to say 5 solid seconds. And then Toni Collette, you can see the look on her face of deciding to end this guy. And she flips her wrist with the knife still in it and slits this guy's throat.
Yeah. Like, you just gave me the knife.
At first glance, it almost looked like she freaked out, but she had a knife in her hand. So when she flung her hand, she slipped the guy's throat.
But when they re-show the video, like, you can kind of see the moment in her eyes of like,
oh yeah, she looks,
I'm done here.
Jason Bourne up in there.
I finished all of this, Nick. I think you've got 2 left.
I tried so hard because I I always make this mistake of starting the shows on TV Dudes that I'm like, oh, I'll probably watch a couple of these, and it's always going to be my favorite one that I start on the
Like
day
Irregulars,
before we
you tore
record.
through that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, fuck. And so I got 2 episodes left, but where I'm at right now, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is your mom, man? Because we even get to the point of like, this thing got recorded, of course, and everyone's talking about it, and she wants to kick her daughter out of the house right after coming out of the hospital, tells her, don't talk to the cops. Don't tell anything to the cops, which is a weird thing for the mom of a victim to say.
Yeah.
What do you mean don't talk? We didn't do any, we literally didn't do anything but defend ourselves, but she doesn't want any exposure at all. And you're telling me that a mom, like, have you ever met a mom that would be like, when their daughter was in a life or death situation, almost got killed, and their first instinct was to kick them out of the house?
Does she like make something out of your life, like she like get out of here, Iron Will, like kicks or White Fang like kicks the dog, fucking.
No, like her first instinct would be, no, you're gonna stay in the house and you will never leave my sight again forever.
Well, you're still asking questions at this point.
Oh,
like, oh, is she maybe disappointed that her daughter didn't do more, and now she's like, get out?
No, at that point, I'm asking, who's after you?
Yeah. I love that by episode 5, I still was not entirely sure what the full story was.
Oh,
but yet
They're still revealing stuff.
I didn't feel like they were cheating me or fucking around. You just keep finding out layers of like, nope, there's this much that the law enforcement knows. There's this much that this bad guy knows. There's this much that Toni Collete knows. And then by the end episode, there was still like one more shooter. By the penultimate episode, I was thinking, like by 7, I was thinking, they're going to wrap this whole thing up. This has to be a limited series. It's based on a novel, and there's no room for a season 2. By the end of the final episode, I absolutely see what the season 2 is, and I can't wait.
Awesome. Because you realize that there's like multiple factions. Like, it's not just one person that's hunting her. There's like factions of people, and the cops obviously know like something's up. Of like, okay, your mom only exists on paper so far back, and then doesn't exist anymore. And even different levels of the police, like there's U.S. Marshals and FBI that are having different levels of of what they're after for Toni Collete. And like, she sends her daughter out to some fucking storage unit that has $500,000 in it, and I'm like, what the
and a car. So I realize that shows always fuck around with this math, but every time I see somebody have like a car in a storage unit hidden somewhere, gasoline doesn't last more than 6 months in a car. So you're flipping that, or like you're tending to it like a go bag. Like that shit's got to be ready. And I don't know why that always makes me think like, okay, you were next level crazy. You don't just have a secret storage unit with your past life boxed up like a fucking pod.
No, she has IDs.
You have a car that you're keeping ready.
No, this is a prepped go bag.
Yeah.
And then there's even a conflict between the mom and the daughter, because the mom will not tell her anything, no matter how far we get it. She has to basically find everything out herself, because her mom will not it's like pulling teeth with her. She won't even tell the cops that she's supposed to be in, like, she has a deal with the cops as far as like, no, I don't recognize that guy. I'm like, okay, you're the worst witness ever. What I love about that too is that she keeps she actually, what is she asks out of the deal of Witsec, I think. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. And then afterwards keeps asking the federal marshals for help. No. That's not how this works.
Yeah, the first time she calls her handler, and he's like, you literally just signed like a novella, like a fucking screenplay worth of paperwork here. Like, we laid a stack down with a big binder clip on it.
After a bunch of me telling you that this was not a good idea and to
he
not
puts
do
his
it.
hand on the page when she like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. Trust me, you don't want to do this. And I still don't know why she thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I really loved this show, and I like Toni Collete. United States of Terror is fucking great. Hereditary's great. Knives Out, like, she's always awesome. But I was shocked how good this first episode is. And I think it's because I'm so used to things being like, we know we got you. You know what? We're going to take to episode 3 to introduce what you saw in the trailer. And then maybe by 8, you'll know what season 1's about. And maybe we'll get a season 2. Like, this thing felt paced totally differently.
It's like this in Ozark of like, we should kill someone in the first 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Straight up.
I can't think of the last pilot that I enjoyed this much.
For me, I thought of Ozark, basically.
I can, but it's a whole different genre of show. It's so good. I can't believe Peacock did it, though I should probably stop giving them shit because they've done a lot of shows I loved, including my favorite show, sitcom-wise, of last year.
What I think you're going to say.
But Bust Down's first episode is funny as holy fuck.
Dude,
I enjoyed the shit out of that show.
Fucking calls its play in the beginning of it, where it starts off with a molestation joke.
And the whole episode's about it. Man, by the time the guy steps out at the employee thing and is like, dude, quit telling that story, you were molested, and it is sad.
Yes, that was...
Because Chris Red is still trying to brag on... Oh, it's so fucked up. It is
basically, it is the black version of Always Sunny. These people are fucking horrible. The humor is so dark.
Oh, man. Raunchy. And characters
like
are
the guy that was molested, in the next episode, I think he spends most of his time trying to get his sperm out of a sperm bank because he thinks it works like a regular bank with sperm.
Oh God! Then when he finds out nobody's ever picked his, and that sets off a whole thing. But then you've got the idiot friend, the Charlie of the group, who's in the vents talking in his Rorschach voice.
Oh, dude, he has a whole Rorschach speech.
Beneath me lies an army of vermin pushing deadbeat daddyhood. When the accumulated nut floods the building and all these sinners drown in the strange men's pudding, they'll look up and they'll say, "Save us." And I'll look down and I'll whisper, "No." And they'll say, "Who said that?" And I'll say, "Me, Jack." And they'll say, "Who's Jack?" And I'll say, "Damn, I should introduce myself."
When he wore that hoodie, I was like, wait, are they going for a Watchmen thing? And then he does the Rorschach voice.
I laughed so hard, and it's so gross, and I don't care. I laughed so fucking hard in that episode.
He keeps slipping in it, and I'm like, why is this Three Stooges thing so funny?
But the funniest bit of that is when he tries to touch Chauncey later. And like that dude's like stick and move is amazing. So Chauncey, I think, is my favorite character on the show.
Dude, he's the smartest
he is
one.
One of the best.
Stealing that shit.
You realize why he's the manager there. You're way smarter than any of these fucking people.
Oh.
I also love the idea that we're going to have this like revolving door of like people in the casino.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have just like an endless amount of like characters they could bring onto this.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to constantly go, how did Always Sunny not do the guy rolling around in cum thing? Like,
how have you not done that yet? Yeah. Maybe Always as Sunny's looking at it going, that was for next season. Fuck.
Now we got to change our guy rolling around in his cum thing.
The lines are so fast.
Why are you wearing a swimsuit? I thought you had a pool. You've been over here many times. Where did you think it was
going to be
a
cool reveal?
Reveal like the Batmobile or something.
Or a cesarean scar. Like, that's his other cool reveal. I love that she gives him 3 shenanigans.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm in a good mood today, so you get 3 what's his name shenanigans.
Yeah, 3 Jack.
That's more than usual.
I want to bank this one. Like, no. Yeah. Oh God, when he tackles the fucking white guy at the barbecue. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Friday. Oh man, that whole thing was just the show is amazing. Like, it is both actually somehow touching on issues that I've not ever seen addressed. Like, like male molestation is a fucking thing. Like, go look up Terry Crews on that subject.
They had a whole fatherhood episode, but with lesbians.
Yeah. The like, who's responsible for this baby? Kind of. Yeah. Like it. And yet they're hilarious.
What she said, I wanted her a baby, so I gave her a baby. I have questions in the mechanics on that.
Oh man, that whole.
Oh man, when she gets her ass whipped in that fucking episode.
Oh God.
Like, but because she has like a side piece that she even calls the side piece. And she slaps her, and you know the part in a movie where someone is mad, a girlfriend is mad, and they slap whoever they're with, and then they walk off. There's no walk off here. She just continues to kick shit.
It goes full wrestling from there. Like, she dives at her, and like it's insane.
The
It
rest
takes
of the
all the wait
staff
staff to pull
are
her off
trying
of
to take her off. One of them just
Tiki.
keeps yelling, "Stop, you're killing her."
It looked like Kill Bill. You had people running in from the stairs. Like there was more wait staff to try to take this woman down.
Isn't that your friend? She wouldn't want me to see her like this.
I think I had to 10-second back on this sitcom more than any comedy I've watched in a year.
Oh yeah.
Just for catching, like missing, because every one of them is funny. All 4 of the friends are hilarious, and they're talking a mile a minute with references.
There is a clear standout though. And not to say that like they aren't all amazing, like you said, but oh my gosh, Chris Redd is just like
he's on another
masterclass
level
in this shit.
I loved him on SNL. I really liked him in Scare
that
Me.
horror movie.
That horror
Yeah,
movie, right? He
Scare
shows
Me.
up as the pizza dude with Coke. He's great.
Because I feel like SNL, you can never really see like somebody's real potential because, you know, it's all done kind of in the confines of that show. But like when you get them onto like a set or into some other project, I feel like that's when you finally get a sense of the character.
Well, and a lot of times, like I love Kate McKinnon, but she seems like she's doing a Kate McKinnon bit for a moment in shows sometimes for me. And I was afraid Chris Redd, because he obviously does characters sort of like this on SNL, but this feels cranked to a different. He can go a whole different not sadder, but like darker comedy direction. I can't believe Lorne Michaels' name is on this. It's so fucking good and so dark.
My favorite joke from episode 2 was when they're like, "That's sad." Like when you find out why Martin really ended.
Oh
Then I was
God!
just like, pause, Google.
I think a whole lot of us did that. Of like, what exactly did end Martin?
What? And then the first headline is like, "No, we got a reunion special on BET. We're gonna do it like Fresh Prince did."
My favorite joke actually happens in the last episode where one of the guys refuses to play his role, which is really funny because one of them can't damn it, Jackson, or what is his name, that the one that was molested in the first episode,
The Charlie character.
The Charlie character. He knows that he can't be the ridiculous one if there's no straight man to bounce off of. He somehow is not comfortable with it, of like, no, this is not how this works. I'm fucking random and completely insane, and you're the wet blanket of the group. That's our dynamic. It has to be this way. And he refuses to, like, and my favorite line was just this quick, like, no, this is, you're our sign, like, you're ruining our Seinfeld vibe, man. You're the white woman and we're all Kramer yelling the N-word.
Oh man.
And then the bit of that joke is one extended joke of their sub story of him like taking things serious, like My Dinner with Andre bullshit, only for at the end of it to be like, I'm a psychopath, you son of a bitch, and just insane person of like I think that the episode ends with the other guy trying to kill himself, failing to do so, and the Charlie character comes up and whispers in his ear of like, you're not going to leave this world yet, buddy.
I am adoring this show. People should go pay for I mean, you should pay for Peacock, honestly, for between Girls 5 Eva, Sex Lives of College Girls, this show, watch at least one episode of Joe versus Carol. And I know I'm forgetting some other
Bel Air.
Yeah, and Bel Air's on there too. Like, honestly, Peacock is probably better than Amazon. Doesn't get you free shipping.
Oh, actually, yeah, besides the free shipping part, you're spot on with that.
They somehow find a thing for everyone to do in the episode, because there is a distinctly the gang does this in this episode. Like the gang has a pool party, or has a barbecue. The gang goes to church, and like the church episode has something for everybody to like do. Everyone is really invested in one thing, and one character is like fighting Wakanda style with the two fucking usher kids that have those donation sticks or whatever, to where they're like running like in an anime trying to like a fight or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is happening? What is this?
You know, I think the reason we don't see this level, like the Always Sunny level of raunchy comedy more often, is because it's really easy to be a fan of this, but then it's another thing to like do some of the jokes that Always Sunny does. And I feel like the molestation episode is the perfect example.
You have to be clever about it, though. That's the real thing.
Exactly.
We act
can't
like the
be
boldness is
coy.
doing it. The boldness is sticking the landing.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's it's like it's not the fact that you're walking the tight wire up without a net. It's the fact that you're not falling off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just you don't get points for walking without a net and falling off every goddamn time.
Like, you got me to laugh hard at that.
It does feel kind of like Daredevil comedy at times. You know?
Because I was seriously worried the whole molestation thing. I was like, really? Is that what that's what you're starting with? That is a fucking bold
I
move.
loved the text from you guys because I had no idea if you liked or hated this show. Because you were just literally giving me analytically what you were experiencing.
Well, because they have the one character that responded how I thought he was, of like, oh, I was molested as a kid and it was awesome. And then the whole joke of that episode is how it was not awesome.
And
like everyone he tells
and he
is
just
like,
gets madder and madder about it.
No, but no, seriously, sir, please just give me the keys to my car. I just want to go home.
Just want to go home. So everybody's playing a character of their own name. Jack Knight plays Jack, Chris Redd plays Chris, Langston Kerman plays Langston, Sam J plays Sam, Freddie Gibbs is the actor playing Chauncey, but everybody else just basically is playing their own name, and I want to say all created and write this or are in the writing of it. So like it is these four doing this.
It would be hard to tell somebody to do this stuff. Like this definitely you get the sense that like they're coming up with these ideas and they're putting themselves out there.
I mostly wanted to put this one last, despite the amazing Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson being in another one of the show, is because when I read the description of this, it's called Bust Down, and the description is 4 casino employees in dead-end jobs in middle America attempt to find self-worth in their bad ideas. It literally, like, if you would, 4 people have lives is a terrible fucking show description. It's as bad as like Mr. Corman, like a white dude is nervous. How did you pitch this?
I think they ran into the same issue we did before we started the episode as far as titling or what we should write in the description. It's like, I feel like we shouldn't write in the description out of context. Black, always sunny.
But it would get it across to it. If you had to elevator this to like, what are the comps?
Because really, that's the only way to explain it. It's uncomfortable, but that's like that's the only way I can get it across of what this is.
Yeah, everybody should go give this show a shot. When I saw the description, if I had not seen a commercial for it, which is getting harder and harder to see commercials if you aren't already on that streaming network, you don't necessarily see ads for things.
The trailer doesn't tell you shit for this.
You should just go watch an episode of this. If you have ever laughed at Always Sunny. Now, if I've said Always Sunny's funny and you've gone, oh my gosh, and like turned to a cross that you have hanging somewhere in your room and, prayed for me, Bust Down is not for you. But everybody else that's ever laughed at Always Sunny, you're going to fucking love this show. And you should go find a way to watch Peacock right now. I can't believe I said that.
Peacock is coming. I tell you what, guys, they were a joke, but they're impressing the shit out of me with a lot of their stuff.
At this rate, they'll earn the relaunch they plan to do later this year.
Peacock Plus.
Well, with no dessert this week and no Randy, I think that's
right,
about
there is
it.
no dessert. What a bummer.
Yeah,
I feel like the dessert this week was without Randy here. I kind of let my non sequiturs go a little longer than I usually do.
I mean, we definitely
took
took up his time on the TV Diaries for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did leave one thing off my TV Diaries that I could talk about as dessert. Flash came. No, I'm kidding. It did, but
seriously, is that not done? Like, God, good
no,
Lord.
Though I want to say that this was the best Flash episode in a year because it was a weird episode with their kids from the future and almost no principal cast was in the episode.
What did they take a break for 3 weeks? Why are you seem to be always watching this fucking show?
It is kind of weird how a lot of shows go, oh, COVID, we should probably shut down. And Flash goes, oh no, COVID, I guess we got to do 2 more seasons.
Yeah, let's do like a bunch of 5-episode seasons. Like, I like to think that it's just one Flash episode that shattered through the timeline.
Yeah, we're just perceiving time differently.
Yes.
Like they actually just quickly produced 1 season, but it seems like several seasons to us when we watch it back at normal speed.
I prefer Legends of Tomorrow, which in 1 episode I feel like got tired of their storyline. When I watched the Legends make a circus. Actually, we thought about that, and that's dumb. We're actually not
halfway through this. This is not as fun as we thought.
Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute. Did you halfway through the actual show realize that you were not having fun here and switched up your story?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So when you were saying about Kitty Would Be King, that you watched part of it in the morning, I think that's exactly what made Legends really lock in for me, was discovering that, watch this while the sun is up, preferably on a Saturday morning or as early as possible, with the most sugar-coated chocolate bomb cereal you can find. And that'll make Legends flawless. And yeah, I think now everybody should follow us over to the Patreon. Again, to make Randy watch anime because he secretly loves it and can't admit it on mic.
Yeah, but could I say thank you, Les? Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you to our Patreons.
Thanks, dudes.
Thank you to our listeners. I guess if you're a listener and you're not doing any of that other stuff, then you're kind of like lowest tier. But I mean, still big thank you.
Yeah.
Weird shot at our listeners, but all right.
I mean, they're right here, Kyle.
No. They're
assume,
actually
I actually
my
have
favorite.
no idea if people listen to us.
We're sorry,
That's why
Void,
I'm
we
nagging
shout
you.
towards. And until next time,
TV Dudes out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.